What's up, Internet? Welcome back to the Roottrees Are Dead. In the last episode, we started getting into the Mary Beth Clementine family tree. There's a chance that Miracle Roottree, there's so many euphemisms, but he found himself in a family tree maybe he didn't expect to be. So we're going to figure out who is part of this Rootree lineage. And in the meantime, we have a couple of things to investigate that are part of this. So one of the things we got in the last episode was the Portland Telegraph, which is a new periodical. And there's not only in this section, but there's more things we can put in there that I think we'll be able to use because there's other Portland things that we've flagged. But before we do that, hey, look, it's Mark. You found his mugshot online. It's Mark Clementine, who was arrested for smuggling reptiles into the United States. Multnomah County Corrections. I wonder if we can look that up. Multnomah. Whoops. Multnomah is a county in Portland, Oregon. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go to this. Let's go to Portland Telegraph. Okay, and now we pull the list back up. Let's just do a little bit of everything, right? Why not? Cool, so that's dead. How about Stuart Clementine? Now there's one specific piece of evidence that we're looking for here. Sterling. Right, it's Ed Soul. Actually, we didn't look this up on, Oh. I didn't realize I can't even do that. Okay, cool. We didn't look up his actual name here. Yeah, okay, that didn't work. All right, fair enough. How about Billy Sims? The Portland Telegraph had an article slightly longer than most about the Billy Sims incident, mostly because of the assaulter, Crocodile Clementine, had appeared in the paper before. Because of the somewhat comedic sensationalism of the events in question, and because their readers were already familiar with Mark Clementine, they filled it in with a special banner called Croc Watch. It mentions that our good friend Croc Clementine was actually in attendance at the high school graduation because his daughter was walking the stage. He apparently was not allowed to attend. His ex-wife had a restraining order filed on behalf of her daughter, but did so anyways. It was unknown to the school staff, including Sims at the time, who he was, but a security guard recognized him, and that's when this trouble started. Clementine was approaching the side of the stage to try to avoid the guard when the exchange between him and Sims took place. The article finishes by facetiously asking, what will Croc get up to up next? Stay tuned for more Croc Watch. Unfortunately for your investigation, as far as you can tell, there were no more instances of Croc Watch. Fair enough. We should probably do... Well, actually, let's keep Billy Sims on there, and let's just make sure... The Butler County Times did report on Billy Sims, but the information seems redundant with the basic information you could find about the incident from the internet. Newstime did a small piece about a fight between Sims and Crocodile, but tried to approach it from a different perspective. Their goal was to paint a picture of the two men involved from others who knew them best. Not only did they manage to interview Sims' wife, Carla... Okay, well, that might not be as helpful. As well as multiple staff members at his school, but they also hunted down Colleen Webb, Mark's ex-wife. There we go. According to this section with Colleen, she and he met when he worked for an airline. She worked in an airport newsstand. He was a drinker and would often have wild mood swings. When he was charged with assault of a fellow pilot in 1975 and lost his job, they divorced. At the time, she was pregnant with their second daughter, so 2 daughters, and she felt she needed to get out before things got worse. She left him and moved to San Diego to live with her sister, and told her oldest that her dad had to fly planes for the Army. She raised them both by herself, and although she never went through the trouble of changing their names legally, they used the Webb name so that no one would connect them to her ex-husband. She raised them... Although she never went through the trouble of changing their names legally, so they're still Clementine. They used the web name so that nobody would connect them to their ex-husband. Okay. Cool. Picouti magazine is kind of sleazy, but they're not afraid to publish a few details that more reputable news publications normally wouldn't. You look up the Billy Sims incident, and it seems they did report on it. You gain a few new bits of information, though it might not be useful. Billy Sims once was arrested for throwing a Molotov cocktail at a company that was found to be testing their products on animals. According to police paperwork, Crocodile Clementine's bail was paid for by Tostaritto Jacobson. Oh my god, this is a rabbit hole. Picouti interviewed other students that were going at the event to find out if anybody knew anything, and the word going around was that Mark Clementine showed up because his daughter Mary was graduating that night. There we go, we found her name. Good job, Picouti. Okay. Yeah, that one's good. We got that. Probably not going to get anything else, but let's see. Okay, and before I move on, I did want to get her through this. There we go. Okay, cool. Mary Beth Clementine came to Butler County a few times and played religious hymns at Miracle Congregation's church. She's mentioned 2 times, though the visit from 1949 was significantly more substantial, and that's significant because 1949 is the date of the affair. Miracle Congregation welcomes Mary Beth Clementine with open arms. The article mentions that the church's leader was moved when he heard Mary Beth's recording of one of his personal favorite hymns, His Eye is on the Sparrow, and reached out to her personally. His Eye is on the Sparrow holds a very special meaning to me. As you know, I've had a very difficult upbringing, and it's no secret that my own eyes has always been a source of struggle. This song is about overcoming sadness and hardship through Jesus. If God can find a way to watch over every sparrow, he certainly watch over those he made in his image. My family's fortune does me no good as a man of the Lord. It's much better spent spreading his word, and I felt a kinship with Mary Beth ever since I heard her voice. When I learned her personal story, I knew I had to help her in any way I could. The Bible is full of adoptions, from Moses to Esther. From Moses to Esther. Oh, isn't his... No, it's Edith. I thought I was thinking way too far in that sense. Okay. Spending your life taking care of those helpless to help themselves is incredibly noble. She and her son are welcome to stay in our guest home. Oh, okay. So, yeah, so Stuart was already adopted by that point. So my guess at this point is if there is a true infidelity here, it's that Mark was born with Miracle, and then I don't know, because then he's left on her doorstep, which is weird because she would have given birth to him if that's the case. That's a weird one. So maybe she... Oh, that's strange. Maybe she set it up. Maybe she... Because she already was trying to hide 2 divorces, so maybe she was trying to hide a child also. And then she put her own baby on her own porch and just used it as a way to kind of cover up that she had an affair with Miracle. There's a possibility. The second visit was a few years later in 1953. The article mentions that her first visit was a massive success, and at the insistence of Miracle's congregation, she is returned for an encore performance. It also mentions that the unusual circumstances of her second son's adoption have prevented her from touring recently, but it doesn't clarify. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Let's keep going. Spin the dial. Mary Beth Clementine was reviewed and advertised many times in modern music. MMM. I'm just going to save myself on words whenever I can. But the most popular recording was the release of her cover, He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. It was released under the label New Edison. MMM has a very positive review of her cover, and the writer complimented her voice and the tone of her guitar. The review had nothing to say about Mary Beth herself, so it's not of much use to your investigation. There were also some other Mary Beth Clementine releases that appeared over the years. One of them was The Old Rugged Cross, which is the only song that was advertised but not reviewed. Can I... Mary Beth Clementine released the old rugged cross for New Edison, and it was advertised. I see it. It was advertised quite a few times. When it was reviewed by the magazine, however, it listed the artist as Mary Beth Quaker. Hell yeah! All right, we got her name. Thank you. Thank you. I think that's all we're gonna need, but I'm gonna just do it just in case. We got to go through everything. That's so specific to find that. If that's the only place we can find that, that's crazy. Okay. While I'm doing the songs, let's just do the rest of the songs. And again, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get a hit for probably a lot of this, but I'm just going to try. Did I skip one? Cool. Okay. News time. I know I'm trying ones that don't even matter, and I know they don't matter, but just in case. Okay, so that's in there. That's fine. Okay, and then I will look this up. I want to look this up on Spider Search. His Eyes on the Sparrow is a religious hymn. It's been covered over the years by many artists, so it's not likely relevant to your search. The premise is that the singer realizes that they should not feel discouraged or disparaged by their troubles, as God is watching over every creature. If God can watch over and love something as small as a sparrow, then the singer knows that God is also there to watch over them. Nice, good message, I guess. What's the... He's got the whole world in his hands. Long thing, but... There we go. Just want to make sure that yeah. I feel like we're not going to get anything. That's fine. Okay, so now we go back to Mary Beth. I'm assuming I'm not going to get anything about Mary Beth Quaker. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's what shows up. So let's just keep going. Cool, let's keep going. News time, Picotee, Portland, Silver Screen, Starlit, Teen Blast. Cool, okay. All right, we got... lot of stuff. And now it's tough to know what we tried. I guess, yeah. Okay, we got that. Picotee. Right, okay, and we should look up who the hell this is. Fuegos Fiesta, a regional Mexican fast food chain that held a competition in '93 that offered free meals for life to anyone that legally changed their name to Tostaritto. The Tostaritto was a burrito with a cylindrical tostada shell inside the flour tortilla. According to a few different sources, Tostaritto Jacobson used to be named Lucinda. Okay. Okay, really weird. Okay, No, it doesn't make sense. How about Butler County? Lucinda? Oh! When she was in 1971, when she was 18, Edith and her sister Lucinda. Holy shit. Okay, so wow. Okay. This is crazy. Okay. So Edith, who's married to the Miracle family, sister becomes Tostarita. Tostarito. And then bails out Mark? But what purpose would they have to do that unless Miracle was at the head of the family? I'm putting it in. I don't care. This is a Miracle bullshit here. Where are you? Miracle Rootree, you are a preacher. Okay. Now, this... Where are you? Here. Mary Beth, and your last name is Quaker. And you are a musician. Aha! Okay, now which ones were correct? Miracle, Mary Beth, Joanna, and Flavio. Okay. Yeah, all the pictures of the people we already knew. That makes sense. Oh, okay. Booyah. Okay, we need to do a little bit of digging here. So, this is correct now. This is fully locked in. I love that. This is correct. This is fully locked in. I just don't have her last name, which I can get. This is wrong. So, I'm just going to fully clear this out. We might have to do this whole thing again. I'm just going to completely take it out. Okay. And then did I put anything else in that was not... Okay, so I have Christine Farrow, but I don't have a picture of her. So that's fine. That could stay because that's not finished. Mark Hahn, I'm going to just also get rid of. Because I don't think it's worth putting it in. If that's so wrong, then no. Okay, so that's great. I'm glad that we got that. We haven't even really looked at this. Elias having an affair with who we think is Beth, potentially, right? Christ. Okay, so but this is good because this allows us to keep going. If this is locked in, we know this for sure. This is now Sterling Edsole. We don't have a picture. We don't think of him. That's okay. Stuart is the older boy. Where is that picture? Stuart's the older boy wearing a vest. Great. Okay, so Stuart, older boy wearing a vest. He has another picture, so we're going to put that as Mark's picture. This is Stuart. Oh shit. Was his name be Clementine? I guess she legally changed it. I'm going to call it Clementine because I think that that's fair. He's a police officer. We don't know who he's... Oh, no, we do know who he's married to. We know he's married to someone Salazar, right? Salazar, what is her name? Regina Clementine. Okay. We know who you're married to. You're married to Colleen Webb. Great. You are Mark Clementine. What is your most recent... Oh, this is good. What is his most recent job? Because he's a criminal, but that's not really fair. There's no unemployed, right? It's what is his most recent job? Was it a pilot? Is that fair? Hold on. Let's go back to... We'll get back to this in a second. Oh, actually, we should finish this. Hold on. Hold on. Lucinda was... Yeah, right. So Lucinda is... This is so funny. This is so wild and funny. Okay. What was I looking up? Mark's most recent job, right? Yeah, I'll say pilot. I think that that's fair. Then he has 2 daughters. Oh, I can't put the previous version of the game allowed me to put unknown female. That would help me out just to remind myself. 94 he was at Mary's high school graduation. Right? So that could be the younger girl, but that doesn't necessarily work. Okay, but there's other things we could still be looking up here, so let's keep going. Portland? And we have to remember to research all Portland stuff in Telegraph. We want to have a second round. So we've looked up Roottrees Australia. We've at least gone through that, but actually I'm not going to get rid of that on here because I don't feel comfortable in that. Actually, everywhere we've done that. Brazil, I feel like we've gotten. Oh yeah, we also have the ASL woman, right? Oh, okay. So if I like the idea, so we had said that this could be the woman Robin, but Robin made a whole show that she would never have kids, that she would never go through with it. So this could be our ASL woman. Right, because Guy slept around, but he didn't necessarily have a kid with every single person he slept with, right? That makes a lot more sense if this is a person that we had. Yeah, I feel much more confident about that. So maybe the France and the Australia one were no-goes, and the China and the Brazil one were that did happen. So I have 2 right now. I'm surprised I don't have a picture of Sterling yet. How would I get that? Can I go into... Find no appearance of anyone named Sterling Edsel in Modern Music Monthly. It seems like whatever he got up to after he was sued by Edison Records, he no longer seemed newsworthy. It seems that New Edison Records and Modern Music Monthly had quite a lot of overlap. There's countless advertisements for various covers of popular songs. When you scan the results for anything other than an advertisement, you do find a very brief blurb from when New Edison was sued by Edison Records. By the time the magazine had covered it, it seemed like the lawsuit was settled out of court and New Edison was destined to shut down. The owner, who went by Sterling Edison, said he'd likely create a new record company, but there's no evidence anywhere that he did, and it was the last mention of him in MMM. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Okay. Where's Clementine? I'm gonna actually bring this down because it's more relevant right now. So Billy Sims doesn't really work. He just helped us get there. Colleen Webb doesn't have... I doubt there's anything about her, especially if she wanted to stay out of the news. She probably doesn't exist anywhere here. Okay. Tostaritto Jacobson is crazy. So she never went through the trouble of renaming the kids. So both of these ladies have a Clementine last name. That's for sure. Damn, that newest generation. We'll figure that out, I guess. And then how about... Mary Clementine is not going to help. That's so annoying. Uh, oh, I'm trying to. Okay. I'm on a little bit of a dead end here, but we'll figure that out. What I do want to do before this episode is up is investigate anything that was a Portland thing and put it in the Portland Herald, the Portland Telegraph. So let's look up 5Ps again. It's been a minute, but I believe he was a Portland guy. Since Felix Fellows, aka 5Ps, was confirmed to be a Rootree, there's been a myriad of articles in his hometown's newspaper that mention him. Nothing appears to be new information. It all rehashes the News Time article and his web search results. The newspaper's music critic did review his latest album. They gave it a 3 out of 5. Okay. How about his mother? Again, I don't know how much I'm going to need, but I certainly should try. Okay. How about Riley Fellows? No? Okay. Who was the other Portland person? Did I ever look up Raffertunes again? Raffertune's site that once had a photo of Clark on it no longer exists. Instead, it redirects to a site for a telephone number called 1010-250, which frustratingly keeps popping up advertisements in new windows every few seconds. You managed to close them, but it sure is annoying. 1010-250 is apparently a phone number you can dial before making a long-distance call to receive a discount from the telephone company. For the past few months, you've been inundated with ads for it and other services like it. This includes TV spots starring celebrities, radio commercials with parodies of popular songs, and banner ads for it on many different websites. It doesn't seem to be relevant to your search. The Raffertunes domain was likely purchased by a third party when the license expired. Okay. So let's get rid of that. I feel like that's done. Okay. So yeah, who else was a Portland person? Was it Sicily or was it... It was... I think it was... No, it was, the lawyer. Where are you? Hometown of Portland. Yeah, okay, hold on. Rubie Sprat was featured in the Portland Telegraph when she was in high school in an article called Local Teen Making Change for Foster Care System. According to the article, Rubie Sprat grew up in the foster care system and was apparently the valedictorian of her school and was a Girl Scout who at the time of the article was earning her gold award. This required a project to help the community, and Rubie chose to raise money to build a fountain she called the Foster Fountain. The fountain has a few small pedestals that stick up high above the water. People are expected to toss coins into the fountain for good luck, and will be encouraged to aim for the top of the pedestals. All the coins scraped from the bottom are slated to be donated to Portland's foster care system. A coalition of local businesses that sponsored the fountain have committed to matching any of the donations that successfully land on the targets. The Fountain of Youths, also known as Foster Fountain, is a fountain found in a small park in Portland. All proceeds from change thrown into the fountain are donated to the foster care system. A website for Portland's Parks and Recreation mentions under a trivia section that the Fountain of Youths was originally conceived by Rubie Sprat, an alumni of the foster care system. As more businesses signed on as sponsors, it grew in scope, even beyond Sprat's original hopes. The fountain is unique because it has special targets that visitors can aim their coins towards. If a coin lands on one of these targets, each of the sponsor businesses matches it. It isn't a huge amount of money from each business, but more than 100 businesses have agreed to participate, so each penny becomes $1. Interesting. There's something with her. Obviously, we wouldn't be going this deep if we thought that. You find an article about the dedication ceremony for the local Portland landmark called the Fountain of Youths. Apparently, at the unveiling of the fountain, the mayor of Portland made a speech, and there were performances by multiple local entertainers, as well as a ribbon cutting from the people most instrumental in bringing the fountain into fruition. The article calls out that all of the performers and speakers, with the exception of the mayor, were foster care alumni, and most of them grew up as close friends. This includes poets, musicians, and dancers. Dirty Davy was listed as one of the musicians. Okay, that's it for him. Yeah, they're all connected. They're connected. David Fellows. And Rubie Sprat. How does she fit in? I don't have a picture of her, which is why it's annoying. I don't have a picture of her, so it makes it seem like I'm not going to be able to have her on this chart, but it just feels like she's going to be. It just feels like that's another little Roottrees thing, you know? Yeah, we're coming up at the end of an episode, and I don't want to call it yet, but I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, we made progress today. We got to 8. Only 4 more, and we'll be able to probably get some more evidence. It's funny because we actually haven't been getting a lot of evidence. We've just been actually unpacking the things that we need to. This is definitely harder. This piece of the game is definitely harder than the original game. It's just because it's so much more open, right? This is just allowing us to completely investigate whatever we want. This, it feels like I should be able to click on this, but I can't. Like this is the only one of the only things in the thing that doesn't feel like it has a purpose. I can't call either. I was thinking about calling that number. Yeah, okay. I feel all right. I really would love to know who the kid is here. Because obviously, as we said, this is just probably 2 people who are young enough to have a child, having a child in between the 8 months that the original game and this version of the game happened. One of you are Mary Clementine. Let's keep going for a second. Let's see. Is there anything else here that we could keep going with? Carla Sims comes up very occasionally on a small percentage of the articles about Billy Sims. Carla appears to be a nickname. Although you have no way of being sure, it seems to most often stand for Carlita. She doesn't seem to be related to your search in any way. No. It's going to be really hard to find the kids here. I don't know how we do this. Wow. Okay. Okay. I wonder if there's people that we can't get right now. I wonder if there's certain things that we just cannot get. Also, like, where is Christine's photo, right? Like, I have to assume that because she was a secretary, right? Like, so let's go back to this. Where are you here? So Christine Farrow was hired. Who was the daughter? Elizabeth, right, so that was her. So Elizabeth Farrow worked in farm and manufacturing. Then her daughter, Christine, was hired. She was a secretary in 76. So the chances of her being one of these people is high. She's very likely this woman. Or this woman. Oh, I just noticed that. That's really interesting. Look, the photo of himself is behind here. Oh, and there's the other picture that we've seen. Okay, so this is now Clark and Chris. Chris is a college student as of 8 months ago. So if you assume that if he's like 6 here, you know, somewhere within the 5 or 6 range, maybe so it's like 15 years ago. 15 years ago from 98 is 83. So we'd need someone who's relatively still at the company by 83. When does Christine leave the company is the question. She doesn't... Oh. Christine Farrow is no longer listed amongst the secretaries, but a Christine Garland has been hired. Right, okay, so now I would be looking for a Garland. Okay, so she's done working for the company by 78. If 78... Oh, shit, wait, what is Rafferty's birth year? Where does it say that? Reminders, right? 75. Okay. So she leaves at 78. Oh, then he'd have to be 3 there in that picture. Where is it? Where's this picture? It's possible. Yeah. Fuck, how do I know? Or this woman. Or not this one. This woman. I mean, we can go off of looks. We've determined that, right? So, like... They're both brown hair. We don't have a true blonde, like... Damn it. I don't want to guess. I want to know that it's either this woman or the other woman that's Christine. I don't want to guess. But it seems like we're only going to ever have the one picture of her. Now, the deciding factor here is this little asterisk-looking symbol here, right? We noted that on the last... on a previous episode. I might have to go back through Christine. Let's go back, all the way back. I don't know. And I'm not going to make guesses. I want to just, I want to get this right. So I think we're going to call it here. Or leave it on a little bit of a cliffhanger, but I feel really good, obviously, about this stuff, because we've filled that in pretty quickly. Maybe in the next one, we'll try to figure out if I can get the You know what I actually think? I think that once we get 12, it's going to allow us to start getting this. Because I think that we're going to get evidence that starts allowing us to get here. Now, I have some shreds of evidence of how to deal with this, but I don't think I have enough yet. I think the idea is us to try to get these two together, and then we start going to the other two. All right. Still got a lot of game to go, but I'm excited. I always keep every time I sign onto this game, I'm in love. It's a different kind of love, but it's a love. Thank you so much for continuing to watch this series, watching me rack my brain to figure out how this family puts together. It's a fun series, and I hope you guys are having just as much fun watching me do it. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Play this game, and we'll see you in the next one.